to talk about Spider-Man?
I am always ready to talk about Spider-Man. Okay.
What's up, guys? It's Corbin Stuckey of Pixel Talk here. I'm joined by my friend Kevin Ellis. I've known him since junior year of high school. And
so sad.
What? How's that sad?
I've known you too long.
You're such a dick. Today we're going to be talking about the new Spider-Man game. This came out 2 Fridays ago? Was it 2 Fridays ago? Or a week ago?
It was a week ago.
Okay, so it came out a week ago, and we knew that we had to do a review on this because we've actually been waiting for this game since like 2016, right? This has been like...
Dude, I've been waiting for it since I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah.
And as soon as it was like announced, like yes, 100% this is coming, I could not wait. The past 3 months have just been me going to work, being like, I want to play Spider-Man. I don't want to be here. I need this to pay for Spider-Man.
Something about this game when the trailer started coming out, it looked like it was standing out from the other Spider-Man games because, I don't know, it just, obviously it looked not like a piece of merchandise or a product. This didn't look like it was like based on any known properties. It looked like it was just its own thing.
Yeah, and I think that kind of translated into the game. This was not made to sell or advertise or anything.
Exactly.
This is people that loved Spider-Man, like that they loved it as long as we have, and they're like, well, we're gonna make our own world. And they've been working on it nonstop for the past 4 years. It really shows how much they love it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Insomniac, and I really enjoyed Sunset Overdrive. Like, when I played that game...
I don't know if enjoyed was the right word.
Well, what did you think?
I had
fun. Yeah.
And then it kind of falls apart at the end.
I can agree to that. Yeah, it's just like... But when I was playing it, and just like the environment stuff, and just the way that you travel in that game, when I was playing it, I think it was like 2014, 2015 when it came out, I immediately thought to myself, like, you know what, if Insomniac made like a Spider-Man game, like, it would be amazing. And they did. And I'm just gonna come out and say, like, this is one of the best games that I've ever played.
I know, I told you.
This is like so good.
I warned you. I warned you it would be, and you were like, well, I still think God of War is still my contender for Game of the Year. I think it beats out Spider-Man. I was like, no, dude, where are you at in the story?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm like 2 hours.
They're pretty, like, next to each other. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because, like, when I, like, thought about, like, what I would like from a Spider-Man game, like, before even this game came out, like, I just wanted to be good. Like, I wanted to be, like, Infamous, like, from Sucker Punch, and I just wanted to be like, this is so much better.
You didn't want it to be just, like, something to talk about. You just didn't want to, like, go like, oh, well.
I just wanted it to be good.
That was a video game.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I played this.
That was, like, my expectations, and this blew away my expectations. This was so good. Like, I am so happy that this was, like, they actually took time to make a good Spider-Man game.
They really did, though. Oh, my God. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to talk about the game itself, just gameplay, and then we're going to go into the story, which is going to contain maybe potential spoilers, and then we're just going to talk about spoilers, because I do want to talk about this, and I want people to know why this game is good.
This is a safe space. We can talk about the damage that this game has done to us.
Thank you. So this game takes place 8 years after Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man, and he's 23 years old. He's the same age as us, which I related him so much. Like, there's a scene in the game, the beginning, where it's just kind of panning through his apartment, and it shows
like my first apartment.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows what was it? It was vacation money, and it's just empty. Yeah, I'm like, that's Peter Parker. Like, that's so good.
I literally, like, swear to God, I had a jar on my desk when I was like 19 in my apartment that was like vacation money, and it just never got filled.
He's us. He really is us. Like, we're not just saying, like, this was...
I'm actually Peter Parker.
This is like a really relatable character. Like, wouldn't you agree? Like, just everything that happens...
definitely. Like, he's Spider-Man. He's been in the public eye for 8 years, but he's still, like, he's anxious, he's scared, he's just a person that's just learning how to grow up. He just graduated college. He's figuring things out with the woman he loves. He's trying to be a mentor and also be mentored himself.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting dynamic. It's phenomenally written.
Yeah, the characters are definitely the best part of this. Like, I like Tom Holland. I think he's been doing a great job as Spider-Man, but I feel as though this Spider-Man, we relate to him because he's actually going through adult problems like paying rent And like it's so, you know what I mean? It's relatable.
He's not paying rent.
Well, he's not. Okay, he has the problems of not paying rent. Like he's in the situation of, you know what I mean? So it's just like
it's very, very relatable. It's a very good game.
Yeah.
It's even if like you don't like the free roaming, which if you don't, you're crazy and wrong.
It's the best part too.
But if you're not liking the combat, you can sit there and just watch all the cutscenes, and it's gonna be like the longest Spider-Man movie I think that's ever been made. But it's still really good.
It's really good.
It's pieced together. So
this is more cinematic than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, this is like up with Uncharted for me, and I can't believe I'm saying that because Uncharted's like one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I know. You wanted to be Nathan Drake.
That's why I do my hair like that.
That's really sad.
And like, it's just super weird that we're talking about a Spider-Man game because of the track history of certain Spider-Man games, and we're putting it next to Uncharted. I never thought we would be doing that.
It's quite the evolutionary leap, but God, thinking about the other Spider-Man.
I stopped after that 2012 Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, the one that was based on the movie Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, the only other one since then has been Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's it.
And I got that because I got the Xbox One right when I graduated.
Yeah.
And I got that. I was really excited because Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What
did you think of it?
What, Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
It was terrible. I just like that caught me off guard. I felt like that was a given. What my biggest thing is going off into it. It's another rehashing of the Uncle Ben death origin story.
Yeah.
But Peter Parker's head on this character model is so small compared to the rest of his body. It's not right, and it's the entire fucking game that it's like that. And then you play through the game, and it's just it is awful. It's so bad. I can't believe I got through the entire game and I remember nothing about it.
I think that's why I was so skeptical on this Spider-Man game, because there have been times where I'm really excited, this is a Spider-Man game, and then I'm really disappointed. But this was actually this is everything I ever wanted from a game. A Spider-Man game specifically. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I warned you a week ago that it was going to be a contender for one of the greatest games I've ever played.
Yeah. Let
alone of the year. And everything just fits together so nicely. It's not like one area excels over the other.
Yeah.
They put a lot of time into it. Even small, stupid details.
The costumes are definitely the portions of this game that makes you continue on, if not anything else. It's because you want to level up and you want to gain these costumes, and there are some costumes that aren't available, but there are a lot that are available.
That aren't available.
Well, I think.
You mean that they weren't included in the game?
Yeah, I think I know.
They're also doing future DLC with Black Cat. I know Black Cat. I hope they do the black suit.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to talk about. It's they don't have the black suit in this, and I think it's just because that's going to be a future storyline, and that's why it's not included in this game. Is because it would make sense if it was in the game if they hadn't talked about it yet. Mm-hmm. This game also even though Spider-Man's 23, it's kind of reintroducing these classic villains. I want to say. Yeah, we'll get into that. But as far as the gameplay, what'd you think of the combat?
I really liked the combat. I went in there. I didn't want to compare it to Arkham.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what everybody does with every combat system.
Yeah.
Ever now, even that ukulele game tried to do an Arkham thing, and this. They're not even in the same ballpark because Spider-Man's fast and he dips and he jumps and he dips and he dives.
I think to compare it to Arkham is a little unfair because that's just any given video game where you're in that third-person perspective and it's combat and it's a superhero.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't really make sense to... It does because Arkham is one of the best superhero video games of all time, but that's for any given video game when you're in that perspective and it's martial arts combat.
Spider-Man's martial art is capoeira.
Yeah, it's completely
I stick
different.
by that comparison.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing I've seen. The combat, I honestly think, is some of the most fun I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
kicking the crap out of people. It's all like fluid and dynamic. Like if you do it in one direction and dodge, you like slide under the guy and kick him in the back of the leg.
It was pretty hard for me at first because it just seems like everybody around you has a gun and you don't. But once you get into like the habit of things, like when you press that triangle button and you just kind of sling forward on a guy, like it really does help. And dodging is amazing in this game also.
There's a little bit of a learning curve, and that's what I like, is that the learning curve isn't too steep.
Yeah.
But it's still there, and I did find myself like hitting triangle to dodge.
Yeah.
And instead of like, especially with like missile launchers,
oh god,
when you're trying to dodge out of the way, you'll just like zip like straight into a missile, and you're just like, that was me, but I'm still gonna blame you.
Oh my gosh.
And it really frustrated me for at least 20 times.
Yeah. So, like talking about like the gameplay itself before we get into the actual story, which might contain like spoilers. Because this is where I'm going to start nitpicking. What did you think? What?
Okay.
What did you think of the collectibles throughout the city, like where you take pictures and then you find the backpacks?
I liked the backpack.
Yeah.
Because
how many backpacks does he own?
You clearly didn't like open them up and listen to all of them, did you?
Well, I listened to some of them, but the point I'm trying to make is like he loses a backpack, and every time when he loses one, he gets a new backpack.
No, okay. Like, so this shows like how much I literally no-lifed this. I took a couple days off of work, and one of them is the Fisk Science Trophy Award he won in high school.
Right.
He did not want to accept the money, but he did accept the lifetime supply of backpacks.
That's what it was.
And it's the stupidest.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Stupidest motivation I've ever heard in a video game, and it was amazing. But the thing that I like about the collectibles, I hate collectibles in general.
Yeah.
But these are just, they're there.
And they explain a little bit more about the universe, and specifically this Spider-Man universe, because things are done a little bit differently. The characters have different backstories, and it kind of explains what's occurred before this 23-year-old Spider-Man, which I really liked. It gives you a reason.
That's another thing that's really cool about the collectibles, though, is if you grew up reading the comics like I did, to the point like it's like anal retention, and you like see like a little thing, and you're like, oh my god, that's that thing. There's a couple Easter eggs in the collectibles. One of them is his college thesis.
Okay. And
the professor that graded it is Dr. Miles Warren, who is the Jackal, who created Ben Reilly, aka the Scarlet Spider. And I saw that and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff that is Easter eggs. Like this is obviously not just a Spider-Man universe. This is also a Marvel universe, but it doesn't try to shove it. Like there's like references to Daredevil and Doctor Strange that I really enjoyed.
Did you catch the Morbius reference?
I didn't catch the Morbius reference. What I wanted to talk about the collectibles in general. Did you think that they were too easy to find? Because that's my nitpick. I feel like they're on the map, and that's fine that they're on the map, but when you're near a collectible, it not only vibrates on your controller, but it glows. Like a building or a backpack, and it's just really
It only glows if you mark it.
No, like if you press on the right stick, it glows.
Oh yeah. When you do your spider.
Did you think it was too easy to find the collectibles?
Didn't really care
about
it. I don't like my collectibles to be hard. I like my collectibles to be like Uncharted, where you can miss them. Yeah. But it's not like you have to do anything super crazy to get them, and they interest me.
Like I said, this was just like a nitpick. But I'm just saying, like, in an alternate universe, if it was challenging to find, I would be pissed off. In this universe, it's not challenging to find, and I'm just in. So I guess I'm going to be like,
you know what collectible pissed me off, though?
What?
The entirety of the black cat thing.
Okay.
All of that.
Just taking pictures of the cat and everything?
Yeah, well, it was finding the damn cat.
Yeah.
I don't want to find the cat. It's stupid. And then once you find out the formula for it, you're just like, damn it. But it took me like 8 to figure out how to find out where the cat is. Yeah. And I don't know if I should like tell like anybody that's watching. I don't know if anybody's really going to get this far.
Let's go into not spoilers, but the story. Let's talk about the story. So this is based on the Brand New Day storyline, which involves Mr. Negative. I'm very familiar with this comic series. This is
This is the one Spider-Man series that I'm not familiar with. I know who Mr. Negative is.
Yeah.
But the first 2 acts, I was like...
Yeah. This is loosely based on the Mephisto storyline in the comics, where... Well, the Mephisto storyline is One More Day, where Spider-Man and Mary Jane aren't married anymore because Spider-Man makes a deal with Mephisto to save Aunt May's life. And in Brand New Day, his secret identity is not known anymore. He is now just Spider-Man. This was like right after Civil War. So this game is loosely based on the first story that takes place in Brand New Day with Mr. Negative. So I just thought that was really cool that I was aware of this story. You weren't aware of it, though.
Yeah, I think honestly that's like the funniest thing is trying to explain a Spider-Man concept story to somebody that has no idea what the hell's going on.
And
because that's and well, like that's the thing. Like going to somebody that they're like, hey, what's Spider-Man the Clone Saga? You're like, oh my god, okay. So Spider-Man gets cloned
2 hours
by
later.
a villain, and then his clone thinks he's the real guy, and they're just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I felt for the first time in my life just now, because I've never read that shit.
And like even though this is based on a comic storyline, it's pretty much its main basic thing. They create like its own story.
Yeah, there's no really side storyline, so it was all they put all their effort into the one thing, which was good.
Mary Jane Watson.
Fucking love her.
Yeah,
I went in there wanting to hate her.
Yeah. There were portions where I was like, because I think you and I have been in that situation before, like in relationships and stuff.
Oh, don't it? Let's not get into side territory.
No, we're not going to talk specifically, but I'm just saying, like, we've been in situations like that where it's
fine,
awkward.
Whatever, you're right, man. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. It's awkward and stuff. And this is like, I think this portrays like their relationship pretty well.
But yeah, I went in there not wanting to like her because I bought the prequel book and read that like, right before it came out. So I kind of went in there with what I thought was like a concrete idea. So Mary Jane and Peter in this are broken up. They've been broken up for 6 months and it sucks.
Yeah, it really does. You feel it.
You feel it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But in the books, they broke up because she wanted to be an investigative journalist and was investigating Wilson Fisk. And he said, this is too dangerous. Don't do it. She's like, okay, that's can do it, but
that's
I
the main
can't.
thing. Yeah.
And I was just like, this isn't going to end well.
That's one of the things I really liked about the game is they take these characters that we know and they kind of reinvent them to make it understandable that this is kind of like the reason why they have like a relationship, because like he's a photographer, she's a journalist and stuff. Wouldn't you agree? Like they kind of just like it makes more sense. Well, he worked for the Bugle.
He's a science man.
He's a science man in this, but he worked for the Bugle at one point.
Okay, I made you say science man.
I hate you, Kevin. But this is what I'm getting at. It's like they reinvent the character so it makes sense that Peter Parker like is in their lives. Like Harry is like an environmental activist or something like that. Like what? He's a scientist too.
Well, it's really hard to like pin what Harry is, but he's pretty much an environmentally conscious scientist.
Right.
I guess you'd say. In the book, he was just going to grad school. He didn't want anything to do with Oscorp.
Yeah.
The whole Europe thing was interesting to me. But Harry is such like a different character.
Yeah.
Than what you expect, because I grew up watching Spider-Man the animated series.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing.
Yeah.
And Harry was always like after Mary Jane, and
they were the popular kids, pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
And it doesn't really feel like that's in here per se. They reinvent it.
It's not. It's not at all. Because in the book, I don't want to be that guy. It's like I read the book.
Yeah, I
read the book,
yeah.
And in that, Harry, Peter, and MJ are all they're very close. It's the three of them. And Harry's just used to being the third wheel.
Right.
And he has no problem with that. MJ comes to him with stuff, Peter comes to him with stuff, and he doesn't push them to like talk to each other unless they absolutely have to. He's just the impartial, good friend. And it's so weird coming from like I binge watched all like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
I
like a week and a half ago.
And these characters are familiar, but they are different in this said universe where they try to like I said, like I keep using this word, but reinvent them and make them stand out from the other Spider-Man like movies and games.
Yeah, like
and
how
even
Norman Osborn goes from looking like Willem Dafoe in the movies to now he's Robert Redford in the game. You can't tell me I'm the only one that thought that.
You cannot tell me. Didn't think of it when I was playing the game, but now that you mention it, yes, it. Mr. Gatsby, like Great Gatsby.
It's bad.
So the part that I specifically wanted to talk to you about, if we're going to be like talking about the Mary Jane storyline, what do you think about like? I love how you turned. What did you think about the text messages? That scene.
No, I seriously did think of you.
You did?
I was like, that is 100% something that would happen to Corbin.
I've been in that situation.
Pretty much any guy that's been in a situation where it's kind of awkward with a woman has been in that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that I know are just like, oh, dude, it's too real.
That's happened to me
I just thought
so many times.
It probably happened to me last week.
No, not really. To an extent.
Oh, man.
I mean...
That was a throwaway joke.
Let's not go personal, okay?
I'm not trying to go personal. I was making a throwaway joke, and you're like, yeah.
I guess if we're going to talk about spoilers, let's talk about Doc Ock.
I hate how much I loved their relationship.
Oh, yeah.
It's very reminiscent. That's the cool thing that Insomniac did, is they just kind of like picked and pulled cool stuff that they liked from other Spider-Man media. So you got like the mentorship thing from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And God, it was really emotional for me. It was a really well-written thing the entire time. But then you get to the end of it, and not only did Doc Ock know that he was that Spider-Man was Peter Parker the entire time, he was still trying to kill him.
Yeah,
it was like that sense of betrayal, and you're just like, that is fucking dark, man.
There's a thing that they do in this game where they have like these characters that are known to the public as like pretty good people, but then they have like these suppressed emotions towards Norman Osborn, and it brings out their dark sides, like Mr. Negative or Doc Ock. And this game showcases that even like the most sensible people can basically have a bad day and become supervillains, which is something that I kind of saw compared to Mr. Negative and Doc Ock. You know?
Just feel like you're trying to make a philosophical point and be like, if you too are bottling up your negative emotions towards your ex, you too
No, like
supervillain.
Like,
you too have the power to burn their house
I'm not
down.
saying that this is like a real world thing. I'm just saying that this is obviously
you heard it here,
that,
folks. Corbin's condoning people burning houses down.
No, like, you know what I'm saying though.
No, I'm on my own.
But yeah, like Doc Ock, like.
No, but in all seriousness, I really enjoyed it. I loved seeing them work together and him start to really, really rely on Peter, like as emotional and physical support. And then he uses it against him at the end, and it was also like 3 a.m. when I was doing that, and you feel it like building up, and you're just like, this is rough. The last 20 minutes of the game are like some of the roughest I've ever had in a game.
You think about it, like, in the beginning of the game, Doc Ock is calling him, like, hey, like, where are you? You gotta come to, like, this thing.
I like how it says work. They tried so hard to hide it.
And if you think about it, it's like, after playing the game fully, it's like, oh, he actually, like, needs him. Because, like, he's losing motor functions and stuff like that. So, it makes sense. Like, at first you think it's just like, oh, like, hey, this is your job, you need to come here. But, like, it's like, he needs him because not only because he is intelligent, but he is physically capable. So it's fun just kind of like looking back at certain things in this game, and after beating it's like, oh, that's why that character did that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think one of the moments that illustrates that the best is when they're talking about he's losing control of his muscles, and he can't pay Peter, and he's like, I didn't work for you for what you can do. I came here for your mind. What's a couple bucks when you're trying to save the world?
Yeah.
Like, yes.
That's Peter Parker.
That's Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Peter Parker is out for the betterment of mankind.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really touching moments, with pretty much any character in Peter. There's all the stuff with Aunt May that it's just like, it was a really good family dynamic. Like, Peter's like his, like, hyperactive, like, with her, and she's like, are you in trouble? Like, what? Just sit down. Just just stop, dude.
Yeah.
And like he's actually like yelling at her. He's like, no. And it's like, dude, just
you know, I wanted to ask you about this. Like, what did you think of like Doc Ock like this entire time like behind Peter's back, just kind of like forming the Sinister Six? Because this was planned. Like you find out that this was like a planned thing where he's forming like the Sinister Six to bring down Norman Osborn. What did you think of that?
I never really tried to think about that, honestly.
Because like
that's actually like I didn't think about how much planning that took.
Yeah, because obviously this is before he got his arms. And the arms are supposed to be the things that are supposed to be making him go insane. But this is before he gets the arms, and he's pretty sane and he's doing this.
No, I know that he had AIM contracts at the Raft, but I feel like there's not that. Fuck.
You know well,
there's like an undisclosed amount of time passes between stuff, so that's
that. Do you think that he did that like right after he got his arms?
I feel like because he made the implant chip, the Cortex chip, and I feel like it was just a few weeks of Spider-Manning.
Yeah,
because I don't know, that never occurred to me, and it's gonna bug the crap.
Because like there's also like audio
that.
recordings of them, like him talking to Mr. Negative about the bombing and stuff, like it just like happened or it's like about to happen, you know? Like I only played the game once, but I thought that was. If we're gonna talk about specifically like the Sinister Six, like you know, one of the things that Sony failed to do was make a Sinister Six movie, like with Spider-Man, and I feel like this is like
the Sinister Six.
You don't like the Sinister Six?
I don't like the Sinister Six
in the game. You don't like them?
No. There's no Kraven.
Okay.
That's my main thing. Instead, you shoehorn Mr. Negative in.
Right.
That's cool, but
that's cool.
He's not a founding member of
Sinister Six. More like a digit.
Aesthetic.
He's a digit.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, we need like 6 people, so...
It's just like, we can't put Venom in, we can't put Kraven, so... Hey, let's get this guy. We're like, who the fuck is this guy? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're token Asian character.
You know, honestly, when it happened, I immediately thought of the second Scooby-Doo movie.
Why?
Because it's like all these like villains coming together.
Okay.
And
the Monsters Unleashed thing.
Yeah. But in a good way. I thought like it was like, okay, that's cool. Like there's like these cool villains and everything, and it provides a lot of gameplay and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it was good. There's no Seth Green.
Hey, he made Robot Chicken.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like, yes, it did feel like the Sinister Six coming together is more of a conventional way because Doc Ock hates Norman Osborn, and he did this within like a day or week span. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna create like suits for you guys, and like, hey, let's make Sinister Six. I feel like I don't want to say it was like convenient. I just want to say that it was, or not even forced. I just want to. What's the word I'm looking for? It just seems really too planned out.
I honestly don't think it was because they just broke out of the prison.
Yeah.
It's not like they had all their new crap.
Yeah.
So,
what are you saying? Like,
well, like so he fixed Rhino's suit and was getting him out of that. He was helping Max. He wasn't really equipping them with anything. Like that's why when you were talking about the planning, it was kind of bugging me. I had to like replay like 8 hours of video games in my head, and I don't remember them having any of the stuff that they do later on. But I felt like they were an unnecessary addition.
It did feel like Sony came in after the Mr. Negative story. It was like, hey, we gotta have
wasn't a part of this.
Well, PlayStation.
Oh shit, it was.
Yeah. I feel like Marvel came in like after they were done with the Mr. Negative storyline. Like he's arrested, and I feel like Marvel came in and they were like, hey, you gotta have the Sinister Six. I did feel like they were kind of shoehorned in just a little bit. But
oh no, not even just a little bit.
Like
every boss fight in it, there's 3 boss fights.
Yeah.
And, no, there's 4. There's Doc Ock's by itself.
The strange thing is, it works kind of, not fully, but kind of. Okay.
They wanted. I didn't hate the boss fights.
Okay.
I really didn't. They were really thematic and just hugely like cinematography. It's beautiful. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a lot of fun, but it's the same freaking formula every time.
Yeah.
It's dodge one guy while interacting with the environment.
Web this guy.
Yeah, this guy, save up your energy, do a takedown on that guy, and like they literally. There's the part when you're when Scorpion poisons you. You have to do that fucking annoying part of just swinging through the city with a river of poison.
Scarecrow from Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But worse. And my main problem with that though is that you have to fight Scorpion a bunch of times in that. Like there's like 6 or 7 of them. It's the same exact strategy as his
press triangle, hit him.
Yeah, you web him until he falls off of whatever he's shooting at you on, and then go punch him a few times, and then boom.
Yeah.
Rhino arguably was my favorite part just because it was really funny.
Yeah.
Because you actually had to put some effort into that and wait for him to run towards you before you slam something.
I love the environment stuff that they put in this. I thought that was pretty cool.
I feel like they didn't try on the boss fights. If you played the Shocker boss fight, you played all the other boss fights.
I want to talk to you about when you switch between characters like Mary Jane and Miles. Okay. What did you think of that? Because I was kind of neutral on it.
I was really irritated at first because
Same.
It's not that I don't enjoy playing as them. It's that you go from having like a lot of fun in stealth sections.
Then it's just like,
Spider-Man,
oh, you're Mary Jane.
You're having no fun.
Damn it!
And later on in the game when she gets the freaking taser, it's funny. It's like I was like, oh yeah, this is the best part.
That's exactly because like when it happens, it's like I don't want to play with Mary Jane. Then you start playing as her, like, okay, this is kind of creative a little bit.
There was like I just liked that there was character development. That she was getting better at being Spider-Man.
Yeah, it basically like it's there because I don't want to say it's needed, but maybe it is needed because it showcases the world around you and how dangerous it is. Like if you're Spider-Man, like you're not really scared of anything, but if you're a person like this kid Miles Morales, it shows that this is actually like a really dangerous scenario. Like when he's having to like run away from the Rhino, you know, that was scary.
I don't know about scary. I was more frustrated.
You were okay.
Because I'm not like great at games like that, but the stealth sections aren't hard, they're just frustrating. Yeah. Because they're like, if you step on the broken glass or knock over a cardboard box, they'll find you. And you're like...
Yeah, that's one of my main, like, negatives is, like, you know, it's...
As a Metal Gear fan, it doesn't hold up. It doesn't work.
Like, it's good gameplay, it's just, like, it's just really needed. Like, I want to go back to playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I really did like the later Mary Jane portions though, especially the one in Grand Central Station where she's sneaking around.
Oh yeah, and then like you see Spider-Man just
that just shows like the love and detail that they put in it though. Like it keeps the costume that you were wearing, and it's just like I thought that there was a really cool part in that they have like the Oscorp stuff. There's a cloaking system. You can stand in that and hide from bad guys. Yeah. And like go turn on the TVs and annoy them, and then like call in Spidey while you're just sitting in the middle. I was like, this is 100% how I would handle this situation. If I had like Spider-Man, I mean, if I looked like Mary Jane, I wouldn't. Anyway.
The ending.
Oh, the ending was fantastic. It was amazing and spectacular.
I saw it coming. But it was still good. It was
saw the ending, or me saying that?
No. I saw the ending because like in the beginning of the game, it's like there's a lot of appreciation for Aunt May right now. Like, oh, they're bringing her a cake. That's good. Oh, she's gonna die.
I didn't see that coming.
Well, it's just like
I didn't want it to happen.
Like I didn't want it to happen either, but I think they did it very well.
They did.
Yeah, because it's basically kind of like a choice for Peter Parker. It's like an ultimatum. Like,
yeah, and that's why, like I said, the last 20 minutes is just like just grubbing like a cigarette into an open wound. It's just like, yeah, it feels good, right? You're like, no, I love this game.
That was the thing that made this game stand out, and just like the interaction between Peter and Doc Ock at the end. That was something out of the Sam Raimi movie.
It was pretty much a mix of Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
like I Loved You Like a Son. Like they did like
Godspeed Spider-Man.
I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be like people like later on in the future that are gonna be like, oh, it's just like doing stuff like Sam Raimi. It's like the Force Awakens for Spider-Man. But no, like I think it did it like very well. It's paying homage to the movies. I did like Force Awakens too, but I'm just saying that there's people out there.
I know. People will find something to gripe about no matter what.
Yeah.
I really want to gripe about this game. There were things that frustrated me to no end.
But it's just so good.
And it's just, you're like, the good outweighs the bad, and that's what you gotta look for. God of War is definitely a game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
I just feel like Spider-Man to me meant a lot more.
Because it's more nostalgic.
Yeah, it's really got like a classic cartoon vibe. Like if this game came out in the 90s, it would fit right in.
Yeah. In the movies too, I feel like the movies now are so focused with him being an Avengers kiss ass, pretty much, that it kind of forgets that this is Spider-Man. You don't need to like add on this extra stuff. I understand that Homecoming, it was the first Spider-Man movie to take place in like the Marvel universe, and you had to really utilize that, but I think the people who are making Far From Home definitely need to look at this game and realize that these are reasons why we like Spider-Man. It's not just because he's in the Marvel Universe, it's because he's Spider-Man.
Nicely put. But overall, it was a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go home and play it.
Same.
Well, you're at home.
Well, so. I'm actually, like, I'm at, like, my grandma's house watching, like, her cat while she's in Europe. Oh, my grandma's in Europe, too. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up!
Okay, but, like, before we close, like, that fucking twist. It was they, like, kind of hint at it during the regular research station thing we were doing for Harry. Like, kind of talks about how he worries about, like, he might have what his mom did and died of, and how he's, like, trying to carry on her memory, and how going to Europe was going to be really hard, and that he wouldn't be able to talk to anybody. And I was like, what the is this guy got cancer? Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
This is really dark.
And then, like, when Mary Jane's just going through, like, the house or the room or the penthouse, and she's like, oh, he sounds like really tired. Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, that's
and then she opens
like,
it up.
Yeah.
Honestly, that whole thing, like, that caused, like, a really, like, visceral reaction with me.
I was like,
she opened the door and it's a hospital bed. I'm like, did he fucking die? He's dead? And then they, like, it's like Harry's last day, like, the whole thing is hinting at. I'm like, he's dead! Where's the body? And I was really angry. But the only thing that I'm still angry about now, like, I thought it was really cool. Like, he's gonna be the Green Goblin in the next, or whatever. Or maybe even Venom, because it had the...
Yeah, there was, like...
Which would be really
symbiote.
Weird.
Yeah.
It looked very symbiote-like.
Hey, by the way, is it symbiote or symbiote or symbiote? Symbiote!
The fuck are you talking about?
It's from the Venom trailer. Symbiote!
I haven't watched the Venom trailer.
They pronounce it symbiote, but I say symbiote.
It's symbiote, but...
Symbiote, but whatever. Like, do you think he's gonna become Venom?
Who, Harry? I don't know. I try to keep an open mind with that, but back to what really made me angry is that they never fucking talked about it again. The rest of the game, you read the diary, he says, tell MJ and Pete, and Norman doesn't fucking tell them, and Mary Jane does not fucking tell Peter.
Well, no, she does. Like
does she? Because they don't talk about it again.
They don't talk about it again, but when they're swinging, like, Peter's like, oh, it's just so much to take in, like Harry and everything. They do talk about it, but I think with everything happening, like, after, like, Aunt May's death, it's just like, you know, that it's... How can you talk about that when you're so focused on that?
He's got super cancer. Get it? Okay, they're super.
So yes, guys, that's our review of Spider-Man on PS4. Comment down below what you thought of the game if you've played it yet. Like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk.
Comment down below.
On my dick. On my dick.
Well, you gotta be subtle, but, like, comment down below.
Down below, like, I wish annotations still existed.
They do.
I'd put it. No, they don't.
What?
Annotations don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they do.
They don't. Try to make an annotation on a YouTube video.
I don't make YouTube videos.
Okay.
There's a reason I don't make YouTube videos. I don't have anything interesting to say.
Thank you guys so much for watching our video. I am Corbin Stuckey.
I'm Kevin.
And this is Pixel Talk. Kevin.